There is something you were never told. Something that was hidden beneath years of striving, years of proving, years of waking up before dawn and grinding until midnight, believing that somehow, someday, if you just worked hard enough, if you just sacrificed enough, if you just bled enough, the wealth would come. You were taught that money is a reward for effort. You were trained to believe that the harder the struggle, the greater the blessing. You were conditioned to think that God's abundance is something you must qualify for, something you must earn, something that comes after the labor, after the pain, after the sacrifice, and you believed it, and so you worked, and you worked, and you worked. But no one told you the truth. The truth is this: God's wealth is already yours. It has always been yours. It was never withheld from you. It was never placed behind a wall of effort that you had to break through. It was never hidden at the end of a road of suffering. It was here. It is here, right now, waiting not for your effort, but for your acceptance. You are not here today to earn anything. You are here to receive what has already been given. Say it slowly. Say it with your whole chest. God's wealth is already mine. Say it again. God's wealth is already mine. Let your mind sit with that for a moment. Let the weight of it land. You are not waiting for wealth. Wealth is waiting for you. You are not chasing abundance. Abundance is already assigned to you. You are not working toward prosperity. Prosperity is already your inheritance. The only thing that has ever stood between you and this truth is the belief that you must do something first. The belief that you must earn it first. The belief that you are not yet worthy. But today, that belief ends. Today you remember. Today you receive. There is a law in the universe that is older than money, older than markets, older than anything human hands have built. It is the law of divine supply. And this law is not based on your effort. It is not based on your productivity. It is not based on your resume, your background, your past, or your current bank balance. This law is based on one thing only: your willingness to receive. That is all. That is the whole secret, the whole mystery that has kept generations struggling when they could have been flowing. The door was never locked. You just forgot it was open. God does not hoard. The source does not withhold. The universe does not look at your life and say, "Not yet, you haven't suffered enough." That is not divine law. That is human fear dressed up as spiritual truth. And you have been living under that fear for too long. Today you step out of it. Today you walk through the open door. Today you say with absolute calm and absolute certainty, "I am no longer earning my way to wealth. I am receiving what is already mine." You were born into abundance. Before you took your first breath, the supply was already arranged. Before you spoke your first word, the provision was already set in motion. Before you earned a single dollar, the wealth of the universe was already designated for you. You did not come into this world to struggle for what you need. You came into this world to live, to expand, to express, to overflow. That is the original design. That is the original intention. And nothing that has happened since has changed that design. Nothing that has gone wrong, nothing that has fallen apart, nothing that has been lost or delayed or taken away has ever altered the original truth. God's wealth is already yours. Say it again. God's wealth is already mine. Feel the relief in those words. Feel what it means to stop fighting. Feel what it means to stop proving. Feel what it means to simply be enough, to simply be here, to simply be open. You do not have to be a certain kind of person to receive this. You do not have to be perfectly disciplined. You do not have to have the right morning routine. You do not have to have made all the right choices. Grace does not require perfection. Grace requires only one thing: openness. And you are open now. You are open now. Think about everything you have ever done to try to earn abundance. The long hours, the sacrifices, The times you said yes when you meant no, because you thought it would lead somewhere. The times you worked through exhaustion, through illness, through heartbreak, because you believed the blessing was on the other side of the effort. The times you gave and gave and gave, hoping the universe would notice and finally pour back what you poured out. You were not wrong to work. You were not wrong to give. You were not wrong to try. But the error was in the belief underneath all of it. The belief that said, I must earn this. I must deserve this. I must qualify. And that belief, that single belief, created a dam between you and everything that was already flowing toward you. Today that dam breaks. Today the belief dissolves. Today you declare with full authority, I do not earn God's wealth. I accept it. There is a difference between a person who works with faith and a person who works in fear. A person who works with faith moves with ease. They take action because they are inspired, not because they are desperate. They show up because they feel called, not because they are afraid of what happens if they don't. Their work is an expression of who they are, not a payment for what they need. And because they work from that place of knowing, from that place of trust, abundance flows to them almost effortlessly, not because they worked harder than anyone else, but because they were aligned. They were open. They were not in the way of their own good. That is the life you are stepping into now. That is the shift that is happening in you this very moment. You are moving from working in fear to living in faith, from earning to accepting, from striving to receiving. Say it with me now. I work from faith, not fear. I receive from grace, not effort. God's wealth is already mine. The universe does not keep score the way you were taught to keep score. It does not tally your hours. It does not measure your sacrifices. It does not compare how hard you tried to how much you got. The universe responds to one thing: your vibration, your inner state, your willingness to be in alignment with what you desire. When you walk around believing that wealth is far away, that it must be chased, that it is something outside of you that you must catch, the universe matches that belief. It keeps wealth at a distance, not as punishment, not as cruelty, simply as a mirror, because the law is exact. What you radiate, you receive. What you believe is real becomes real. What you claim as yours draws near. So you change what you radiate today. You shift what you believe today. You claim what is yours today. And the universe, that faithful and perfect mirror, begins to rearrange itself to match your new truth. Wealth that was waiting now starts moving. Opportunities that were forming now start appearing. Doors that were already open now become visible, because you have changed, because you have woken up, because you have remembered. I radiate wealth. I radiate abundance. I radiate the calm certainty that God's supply is my supply. I am aligned now. I am open now. I am ready now. There was a version of you that believed you had to earn love, that if you worked hard enough, if you gave enough, if you made yourself useful enough, eventually you would be worthy of good things. That version of you carried so much weight. That version of you was exhausted before the day even began. That version of you lay awake at night running numbers, running plans, running through all the ways you were going to finally make it work. And there was a quiet voice underneath all of that noise. A still, small voice that kept whispering, "You don't have to do this. You don't have to carry this. It is already done." But the noise was too loud. The old belief was too strong. You couldn't quite hear it. You can hear it now. You are hearing it now, right now, in this moment. The voice of grace saying, "Stop, rest, receive. It is already yours. God's wealth is already yours." And you say back, "I hear you. I believe you. I receive it. I stop earning. I start receiving." Let us talk about what receiving actually means, because somewhere along the way, receiving got confused with laziness. Somewhere, the idea of accepting abundance without suffering for it got tangled up with passivity, with not trying, with sitting still and expecting things to fall into your lap. That is not what this is. Receiving is an active spiritual state. Receiving is a full and conscious alignment with the truth of your supply. Receiving means you wake up every morning knowing the supply is real and you are connected to it. Receiving means you take the inspired action, the steps that feel light, that feel called, that feel like the next natural move, rather than the desperate actions born of fear and scarcity. Receiving means you move through your life with your hands open, not clenched, your heart open, not guarded, your mind open, not obsessing over how and when and through what channel. Receiving is not passive. Receiving is powerful. Receiving is what transforms your daily life from a struggle into a flow. I am actively receiving. I am powerfully open. I am consciously aligned with divine supply. The channels through which wealth flows to you are unlimited. They are not fixed. They are not restricted to your job, your salary, your current business, your current plan. God's wealth does not come through only one door. It comes through 10,000 doors you haven't even noticed yet. It comes through an idea that appears while you're in the shower. It comes through a conversation you weren't planning to have. It comes through a door that opens after another one closes. It comes through timing so precise, so perfect, that you recognize it as something beyond coincidence. It comes through favor, through unexpected gifts, through opportunities that find you, rather than the other way around. The channels are limitless because the source is limitless. And you are connected to that source right now. You have always been connected to it. The only question is whether you are willing to let it flow. Say it now. My channels of abundance are limitless. My supply flows from a source that never runs dry. I am open to receive from every direction. God's wealth is already mine, and it is making its way to me now through channels seen and unseen. You have been living as though the wealth of this universe is finite, as though there is only so much to go around, as though if someone else gets rich, there is less left for you, as though you must compete, must hustle, must fight for your portion before someone else takes it. But that is the law of lack. That is the law of fear. That is the consciousness of someone who has forgotten the truth of the source. The source is not running out. The wealth of God is not a pie that shrinks with every slice. It is an ocean. It is endless. It is regenerating and expanding and overflowing in every direction at every moment. And you are not in competition with anyone. You never were. There is a supply designated specifically for you, and it is not diminished by what anyone else receives. Their abundance does not reduce yours. Your abundance does not require anyone else's lack. Abundance is infinite, and your portion is full. Say it boldly. There is enough for me. There has always been enough for me. I am not in competition. I am in alignment. God's wealth is already mine, and there is no shortage of it. Now let us speak about the silent thief, the thing that has been quietly stealing your peace, your power, and your prosperity for longer than you realize. Its name is unworthiness. It lives quietly in the background of your thoughts. It doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes it just whispers. Who do you think you are? You don't deserve this. Other people get blessed, but not you. Look at your history. Look at your mistakes. Look at what you've done and what you haven't done. You don't qualify. You haven't earned it. And you, without fully realizing it, believed those whispers. You built your life around them. You played small because of them. You pushed away opportunities because of them. You sabotaged blessings because deep down, you didn't believe you were worthy of them. But those whispers are not the truth. They are not the voice of God. They are not the voice of the universe. They are the accumulated residue of fear, of old wounds, of other people's limitations spoken over your life. And you are done listening to them. Right now, in this moment, you close the door on unworthiness forever. You are worthy, not because of what you have done, not because of what you are going to do, not because of your performance or your productivity or your moral perfection. You are worthy because you exist. Because you are here. Because you are a living expression of the divine, and the divine does not create unworthy things. God's wealth is yours because you are a child of the divine. And divine children do not beg. Divine children do not earn their inheritance. They receive it. They accept it. They live in it. Say it with authority. I am worthy of wealth. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of every good thing that is flowing to me. My worthiness is not conditional. It is not earned. It is given. And I receive it now. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not the sum of the times you fell short. You are not defined by the years you spent in lack, in struggle, in confusion, in fear. Those years do not disqualify you. Those experiences do not close the door of abundance. In fact, everything you have been through has prepared you to receive more gracefully, more wisely, more powerfully than you ever could have before. Your history is not a sentence, it is a preparation. And now you are prepared. Now you are ready. Now the doors are not just open, they are wide. Now the supply is not just available, it is rushing toward you. Because you have done the inner work. Because you have arrived at this moment. Because you are here, right now, saying yes. Yes to God's wealth. Yes to divine supply. Yes to receiving fully and freely and without guilt or hesitation. I release my past. I release my old story. I release every version of myself that believed in lack. I am new now. I am open now. I am wealthy now, in spirit and in truth and in manifestation. Let us speak about money itself, about the energy of money. Because somewhere in your life, someone taught you that money was dangerous, that it changed people, that it was the root of all evil. That spiritual people didn't need it, that wanting it was greedy or shallow or wrong. And even if you consciously rejected those teachings, some part of you absorbed them. Some part of you felt the contradiction every time you desired more. Some part of you felt guilty for wanting financial abundance, as if wanting it meant there was something spiritually wrong with you. Today that guilt is released. Today that contradiction is resolved. Money is not evil. Money is not corrupting. Money is not the enemy of spirit. Money is simply energy. It is a neutral force that takes on the character of whoever holds it. In the hands of fearful, unconscious people, it can amplify fear and unconsciousness. But in your hands, in the hands of someone aligned with grace, with love, with divine purpose, money becomes a force for extraordinary good. It becomes freedom. It becomes generosity. It becomes the physical expression of an abundant inner life. You are meant to have money. You are meant to have more than enough. Not just for survival, not just for comfort, but for overflow, for impact, for the joy of giving, without counting the cost, for the freedom to move, to create, to expand, to serve. The wealth flowing to you is not just for you, it is through you. And the more freely you receive it, the more freely it will flow through you to others. You are a channel, and a clear channel receives abundantly. Say it freely. I am at peace with money. Money is welcome in my life. I receive it with joy, and I give it with joy. I am a vessel for divine wealth, and it flows through me with ease. God's wealth is already mine. There are people reading this right now who have been waiting for a specific sign, a specific breakthrough, a specific moment when everything shifts. They have been waiting for the account to hit a certain number, waiting for the deal to close, waiting for the opportunity to finally show up. And the waiting has become a kind of spiritual holding pattern, a place where hope and doubt fight each other every single day. Today we break that holding pattern. Today we shift from waiting to knowing, from hoping to declaring, from asking to receiving. The breakthrough is not coming someday. The supply is not arriving eventually. The wealth is not manifesting when you finally figure out the right formula. It is here now. It is available now. The only shift required is from waiting to accepting, from hoping to claiming, from someday to now. Say it with conviction. I am not waiting anymore. I am receiving now. The supply is here now. The doors are open now. My wealth is manifesting now. Not eventually, not someday, now. You have a voice that carries more power than you know. Every word you speak is a decree. Every sentence you utter is a direction given to the creative intelligence of the universe. And for too long, you have been speaking the language of lack without realizing the power of what you were saying. When you said, I can't afford that, you were sending a signal. When you said, I'll never get ahead, you were giving an instruction. When you said money is hard to come by, you were writing a law for your own life. But that was then. That was before you remembered. Before you woke up to the power of your word. Before you understood that your mouth is a creative instrument. Now you choose differently. Now you speak from the truth of divine supply. Now every sentence that comes out of your mouth is a seed of abundance planted in fertile ground. You speak now from your highest truth, from the truth that says, I am provided for, I am supplied, I am flowing, I am wealthy in the deepest sense of the word. You no longer speak carelessly about money. You no longer complain about what you don't have. You no longer agree with the voice of lack. Every time that voice tries to speak, you override it. You choose a different word, a truer word. A word that aligns with the law of divine supply. And that law responds. That law is faithful. That law delivers. I speak only abundance. I speak only increase. I speak only the truth of my divine supply. My words are wealth. My voice is a creative force. And I decree now that God's wealth is mine, freely, fully, completely. Let us talk about the people around you. The ones who speak the language of struggle, the ones who talk constantly about how hard things are, how the economy is terrible, how there's never enough, how good people never get ahead. You love these people. You care for them. But you cannot afford to take on their frequency. You cannot afford to let their narrative become your narrative. You are not being unkind when you refuse to agree with the story of lack. You are being wise. You are being protective of the truth you have planted in your heart. The world around you will always offer you evidence for lack if you look for it. But the world will also offer you evidence for abundance if that is what your eyes are trained to see. You choose what evidence you gather. You choose what story you tell. You choose what law you live under. And you have chosen grace. You have chosen flow. You have chosen the truth that God's wealth is already yours. When someone speaks lack around you, you bless them quietly, and you return to your own truth. When the news speaks recession, you hear it but you do not live under it. When the numbers don't yet reflect your declaration, you do not abandon your declaration. You double down on it. You speak it louder. You say it with more certainty. Because you know that the outer world is always catching up to the inner truth. And your inner truth is solid. Your inner truth is unwavering. Your inner truth says, I am supplied. I am provided for. I am wealthy. And it is only a matter of time before the outer world bends to match what you know inside. I am not moved by appearances. I am not shaken by conditions. I hold steady in the truth of divine supply, no matter what the outer world shows me. God's wealth is already mine. And the outer world is catching up to that truth now. You are allowed to live well. You are allowed to have beautiful things. You are allowed to rest and still be provided for. You are allowed to say no to opportunities that deplete you, trusting that better ones are coming. You are allowed to enjoy money without guilt. You are allowed to have more than enough. You are allowed to be wealthy and spiritual at the same time. You are allowed to receive blessings that seem too good to be true. You are allowed. The universe is not withholding from you because you haven't suffered enough. The source is not waiting for you to prove your seriousness through sacrifice. Grace does not require pain as its prerequisite. You are allowed to step into prosperity with joy. You are allowed to receive it with ease. You are allowed to be surprised by how good it gets. Give yourself permission right now, full permission, unconditional permission, to have everything that is already yours. I give myself full permission to receive God's wealth. I give myself full permission to live abundantly. I give myself full permission to be wealthy, joyful, free, and fully provided for. I deserve this, not because I earned it, but because I am a child of an abundant divine source, and that source withholds nothing from me. There is a moment in every spiritual journey when the shift becomes permanent, when the old belief doesn't just get quieter, it disappears, when the new truth doesn't just visit, it takes up residence. You are approaching that moment. In fact, you may be in it right now. The moment where the idea that wealth must be earned stops making any sense to you. Where it just falls away like a coat you no longer need. Where you look back at all the years of striving and straining, and you understand it with compassion, but you cannot return to it, because now you know, now you have remembered. And once you truly remember, there is no going back. There is only forward. There is only more. There is only the ever-expanding flow of divine supply moving through your life. Say it now as if you are closing a door on the old way forever. I am done striving for what is already mine. I am done earning what has already been given. I am done struggling toward what I can simply receive. I receive now. I receive fully. I receive with joy and peace and profound gratitude. God's wealth is already mine, and I accept it completely. You have been obedient to the laws of scarcity for long enough. You have honored the belief system of lack with enough of your years, your energy, your peace. You have served that old story with loyalty that was never deserved. Today you transfer that loyalty. Today you become obedient to a higher law, the law of grace, the law of divine abundance. The law that says your supply is not limited by your effort, your background, your connections, your luck, or your timing. The law that says you are provided for because you are, not because you earned it. And you honor this law now with your beliefs, with your words, with your expectations, with your willingness to receive, even when it seems too easy. Even when the part of you trained by the old system says this can't be right, it can't be this simple. But it can. It is. It is this simple. Accept it. Receive it. Live in it. I am now obedient to the law of grace. I honor the truth of divine supply. I accept that prosperity is my natural state, and I return to it now, fully and permanently. Close your eyes for just a moment if you can. See yourself in the life that is already yours, the life where the financial pressure has lifted, where the account reflects the abundance you have always known in your spirit, where opportunities come to you easily, naturally, consistently, where you wake up in the morning with peace instead of panic, where you give generously because the overflow is real, where you rest without guilt because you know the supply is constant, where you look at your life and recognize it as the answer to every prayer you ever prayed. See it clearly, feel it fully, let it be real in your inner world right now, because what is real in your inner world is already forming in the outer world. What you can see with the eyes of faith is already on its way. The life you just pictured is not a fantasy, it is a prophecy. And it is unfolding right now. Say softly now, the life of abundance I can see in my spirit is real. It is already mine. It is already forming. It is already on its way. I receive it now with all of my heart, all of my faith, all of my being. This is who you are now. This is the new version of you. The one who knows, the one who receives, the one who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't strain. The one who walks in the certainty that God's wealth is already theirs, and the whole universe knows it. You are that person now. Not someday, now. Not when the bank account proves it, now. You are already the wealthy version of yourself. You are already aligned. You are already in the flow. The physical evidence is simply the tail end of a transformation that is already complete in the spirit. And you trust that, you know that, you stand firm in that. I am wealthy now. I am aligned now. I am in divine flow now. I do not wait for proof. I declare the truth, and the proof follows. God's wealth is already mine. It has always been mine. And I receive it now, completely, joyfully, permanently, easily. And so it is. The supply is unlimited. The source is unfailing. The law is exact, and you are in perfect alignment with it now. Think about what it means to inherit something. When someone leaves an inheritance, the heir does not dig ditches to earn it. The heir does not submit a resume. The heir does not complete a trial period or prove their value or suffer through years of qualification. The heir simply receives. The heir shows up, opens their hands, and accepts what was designated for them before they even asked for it. That is exactly the relationship you have with divine wealth. You are the heir. The inheritance is real. It is already arranged. It is already set in legal and spiritual order. Your name is already on it. And all you are required to do, the one and only requirement, is to show up and receive. To say yes, to open your hands, to stop standing outside the door of your own inheritance, asking if you are allowed in. You are allowed in. You have always been allowed in. Walk through. I am the heir of divine abundance. My inheritance is already arranged. My supply is already set. I walk through the door of my own prosperity now with full permission and absolute faith. You have spent enough time standing at the edge of your good, looking in from the outside, wondering why it seems so easy for others and so hard for you. But it was never supposed to be hard. That hardness was not a sign that you were being tested. It was a sign that you were resisting. It was the friction of a truth trying to reach you, and a belief system blocking it at every turn. And now the resistance is dissolving. Now the belief is changing. Now the truth is no longer being blocked. It is flooding in. It is rushing through every part of your consciousness and rearranging everything it touches, rearranging your expectations, rearranging your words, rearranging your energy, rearranging your life. And you are not fighting it. You are welcoming it. You are saying yes to it with everything you have. Say it now. I welcome the flood of abundance into my life. I stop resisting. I stop blocking. I open completely. I receive completely. And the wealth of the divine flows to me now without obstacle, without limit, without end. Let us go even deeper. Let us talk about the thing that nobody likes to say out loud. The secret fear underneath all the striving, underneath all the earning, underneath all the exhausting effort to prove your worth. The fear is this: what if I receive it and then lose it? What if it comes and then goes? What if I open up and let it in, and then the rug gets pulled out, and I am left with even less than before? That fear is real. That fear is understandable. That fear has kept you playing small, because small feels safer than big and broken. But that fear is based on a lie. It is based on the idea that your abundance depends on you holding it together, that it is fragile, that it is contingent on conditions that can change. But divine supply is not fragile. It does not come and then evaporate based on circumstances. It is not a temporary loan with a hidden repayment schedule. It is a permanent state of being for anyone who remains aligned with its source. And the source, as you know, is not running out. The only way to lose what you receive is to return to the consciousness of lack, to return to the belief that you must earn it, that you don't deserve it, that it is too good to last. But you are not returning to that place. You have left that place for good. You are anchored now in the truth of divine supply. And from this anchor, the wealth that comes to you is not temporary. It is not fragile. It is a natural and permanent reflection of who you now know yourself to be. I am not afraid of receiving and losing. I am anchored in the truth of permanent divine supply. What flows to me stays with me, because I remain aligned with its source. I am stable. I am steady. I am wealthy at my core, and the outer world reflects that core truth. The great mystics and spiritual teachers throughout history all pointed to the same truth, though they said it in different words, with different metaphors for different people, in different times. They all said that the inner life creates the outer life, that the consciousness you carry determines the conditions you experience, that what you believe in your deepest heart becomes what you live in your daily reality. This is not poetry. This is not wishful thinking. This is the most practical law in existence, and you are using it now, right now, in this very moment. You are using it to create the life that has always been yours in truth, but is now becoming yours in experience. You are making the invisible visible. You are bringing the spiritual into the physical. You are being the bridge between the divine supply that has always existed and the material abundance that is now forming. That is not a small thing. That is not a passive thing. That is one of the most powerful acts a human being can perform. The act of conscious alignment. The act of deliberate receiving. The act of saying to the universe, I know what is mine, and I am here to claim it. I am that bridge. I am that point of connection. I am the place where divine supply becomes human experience. I am the bridge between divine supply and physical abundance. I am the meeting point of spiritual truth and material reality. What is mine in spirit is mine in experience. I claim it now. Look at where you are right now, not with judgment, not with comparison, but with the eyes of someone who understands that every single moment of your journey has been purposeful. Every period of lack taught you the value of abundance. Every moment of striving revealed to you the sweetness of grace. Every closed door pointed you toward an open one you had not yet seen. You did not lose time. You did not waste years. You were being shaped. You were being made ready. Not by suffering, but by growth. Not by punishment, but by preparation. And now, you are ready. Fully ready. Completely ready. The seasons of lack are behind you not because you finally suffered enough, but because you finally woke up enough. You finally remembered enough. You finally aligned enough. And now the season of overflow begins. This is your season. This is your moment. This is the turning point you have been building toward, not through effort alone, but through the quiet, steady, powerful work of remembering the truth. And the truth is, receiving you as fully as you are receiving it. The universe is saying yes to you right now, with the same certainty you are saying yes to it. Everything is in agreement. Everything is in alignment. Everything is prepared. This is my season of overflow. I have been prepared for this. I am ready for this. I say yes to abundance, and abundance says yes to me. The turning point is now. The flood is here, and I receive it all. Now here is something that will change the way you move through every single day from this point forward. Gratitude. Not the polite gratitude that says thank you while secretly still worried. Not the gratitude that is used as a spiritual technique, a tool you apply hoping it will produce results. Real gratitude. The deep, full-body recognition that the supply is already here, that it is already flowing, that even before the physical evidence fully appears, there is already so much to be grateful for. The air in your lungs, the mind in your head, the fact that you are here, awake, aligned, and receiving, the fact that the supply is real, and it is moving toward you. The fact that every day you spend in this truth is a day that is rearranging your outer reality to match your inner knowing. That is worth an extraordinary amount of gratitude. And that gratitude, when it is genuine, when it is felt rather than performed, acts as a magnet. It draws more of what you are grateful for. It amplifies the signal you are sending to the universe. It tells the creative intelligence of everything that you are aware of, the good, that you see it, that you value it, and that you are ready for more. You are grateful now, not as a technique, but as a truth, because you know that gratitude and abundance are the same energy expressed in different forms. To be grateful is to already be wealthy in the deepest sense. And from that wealth of spirit, the wealth of the physical world follows without fail. I am grateful, deeply, genuinely, fully grateful. I see the good already in my life. I feel the supply already moving. I give thanks for what is here and what is coming and what is already mine in divine arrangement. My gratitude is my magnet. My gratitude is my proof. My gratitude is my wealth. There is one more thing to address before this moment closes, and it is perhaps the most important thing of all. It is the question of what you do now, how you live from this day forward. How you carry this truth into your Monday mornings and your difficult conversations and your moments when the numbers don't add up and the fear tries to creep back in. Here is what you do. You return to this. You come back to this truth whenever the old voice tries to reassert itself. You speak these words again when doubt gets loud. You remember again when fear whispers. You realign again when you feel yourself slipping back into earning mode, into striving mode, into proving mode. This is not a one-time event. This is a daily practice. This is a new way of being that you choose again and again until it is so deeply embedded in you that it becomes your automatic response to life. Until receiving feels more natural than striving. Until abundance feels more familiar than lack. Until God's wealth feels less like a claim you have to make and more like a home you simply live in. You are building that home right now, word by word, declaration by declaration, day by day. And every time you return to this truth, the home gets stronger, the walls get thicker, the foundation gets deeper, and lack gets quieter and quieter, until one day you realize you cannot even remember the last time it had any power over you at all. I return to this truth every day. I build my home in abundance, one declaration at a time. I am consistent. I am committed. I am anchored. And every day, I become more naturally, more effortlessly, more permanently wealthy in every dimension of my life. You are not the same person who started listening to this. Something has shifted. Something has opened. Something has been released. And something has been received. The you that finishes this moment is not the same as the you that began it. You carry something new now, a knowing, a settled, deep, unshakable knowing that the wealth of the divine is already yours, that it was always yours, that it was never withheld and never will be, that the only thing that has ever stood between you and abundance is the belief that you had to earn it. And that belief is gone now. It is dissolved. It is finished. In its place stands a new belief, a new truth, a new reality. And that reality is this. God's wealth is already yours. Stop earning it. Start receiving it. You are provided for. You are supplied. You are wealthy in spirit and in truth and in every form that truth can take in the physical world. The doors are open. The channels are clear. The supply is flowing. And you are here, aligned, open. Ready, receiving. Say it one last time. Say it like you mean it. Say it like the first and last word of your financial story. God's wealth is already mine. I stop earning. I start receiving. I am open. I am aligned. I am wealthy. I am supplied. I am grateful. I am free. And let us not rush past this moment. Let us sit in it. Let us let it breathe. Because something real is happening right now, and it deserves to be honored. You came to this moment, carrying something heavy. You may not have even known how heavy it was until just now, when you started to put it down. The weight of believing you are not enough. The weight of believing wealth is always just out of reach. The weight of believing you have to earn every good thing with pain and sacrifice and endless effort. That weight is real, and the relief of putting it down is real. And the truth that you are discovering, or perhaps more accurately, rediscovering, is real. Let yourself feel the relief of it. Let your body relax into it. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let your breath come slower and deeper. This is what it feels like to remember. This is what it feels like to stop fighting and start receiving. This is what it feels like to finally come home to the truth about who you are and what is yours. You are a being of abundance. You were created from abundance. You live in a universe of abundance. And the story of struggle that has followed you for so long is not your true story. It is a story that was placed over your true story, a story that was layered on top of the truth. And what you are doing right now, in this moment, is peeling that story back, one layer at a time, one declaration at a time, one act of receiving at a time. And underneath all those layers, the truth is exactly what it has always been: radiant, intact, unchanged, 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 unchanged. You are wealthy in the truest sense of the word. You are supplied by a source that has never failed and will never fail. And all of that supply is yours, right now, today. I am a being of abundance. I was created from abundance. I live in abundance. The true story of my life is a story of divine supply, and I am living that story now. Here is what changes when you truly accept this. Not just intellectually accept it, but really, deeply, in your bones accept it. The way you wake up in the morning changes. Instead of waking up with the first thought being, "What do I have to do today to stay afloat?" you wake up with a different first thought. Something like, "What is moving today? What is arriving? What opportunity is showing itself?" You begin to move through your day with an orientation of receiving rather than surviving. You begin to notice things you used to miss, the idea that appears out of nowhere, the conversation that opens an unexpected door, the coincidence that turns out not to be a coincidence at all, but a perfectly timed delivery from the intelligence that governs all things. When you shift from earning to receiving, your perceptual field opens. You start seeing with different eyes. You start hearing with different ears. You become someone who lives in a world of constant provision rather than constant scarcity. And because that is what you see, because that is the world you live in, that is the world that keeps showing itself to you, over and over and over again. The world I live in is a world of abundance. Every day I see evidence of divine supply. Every day opportunities appear. Every day the provision is there. I live with eyes open to the overflow, and the overflow keeps showing itself to me. Think about the most naturally abundant person you have ever known. Not necessarily the richest person, but the most naturally provided for. The one who things just seem to work out for. The one who gets the call they needed, finds the resource they were looking for, receives the help at exactly the right moment. Have you noticed that those people have a certain quality to them? A kind of ease? A settled expectation that things will work out, a relaxed confidence that is not arrogance but simply trust. They are not grinding, they are not white-knuckling their way through life. They are moving with a kind of grace that looks almost effortless from the outside. That quality is not luck, it is alignment. It is the practical, daily expression of a consciousness that is in harmony with abundance rather than at war with it. And that is exactly who you are becoming. That is exactly who you already are, in truth. You are the person things work out for. You are the person the right call comes to. You are the person who arrives at the door just as it opens. Not because you are lucky, because you are aligned. I am the person things work out for. I am the one the right call comes to. I am the one who is always in the right place at the right time. because I am aligned with divine timing and divine supply. Things work out for me, they always do. There is a version of the future that is already real in the realm of the infinite. A version where you look back on this exact moment and recognize it as the turning point. The day you stopped arguing with your own abundance. The day you stopped fighting the truth of your supply. The day you laid down the old burden and picked up the new identity. The wealthy version of you, the version that lives in the overflow, that gives freely and receives freely, that moves through life with ease and with grace and with profound joy, that version is not a stranger. That version is you, the real you, the original you, the you that existed before the layers of fear and lack were added on top. And you are returning to that version now, not building toward it. Returning to it, because it was never lost. It was only covered, and now the cover is coming off, and the real you is emerging, radiant, aligned, wealthy, free. I am returning to the truth of who I am. The wealthy version of me is the real version of me. I am not building toward abundance. I am uncovering it. It was always there. I am always that person. I am that person now. So as you move through the rest of this day, and tomorrow, and all the days that follow, carry this with you. Not as a philosophy, not as a theory, but as a lived truth. A truth you act from. A truth you speak from. A truth you make decisions from. Let it inform how you spend your energy. Let it inform what you say yes to and what you lovingly decline. Let it inform how you talk about money, how you think about money, how you feel about money. Let it be the lens through which you see every opportunity and every obstacle and every moment of transition. Because through this lens, everything looks different. Obstacles become redirections. Delays become preparations. Closed doors reveal open windows. And every single moment of your life becomes a moment in which divine supply is operating on your behalf, working everything together for your abundance, your peace, your joy, and your freedom. You are free. You are wealthy. You are provided for. You are aligned with the most powerful law in the universe. And that law is already working. It has already been working. And it will never stop working on your behalf. I am free from the law of lack. I am free from the belief of earning. I live fully under the law of divine grace and divine supply. And that law is working for me now, constantly, consistently, faithfully, and abundantly. God's wealth is already yours. Stop earning it. Start receiving it. I am open. I am aligned. I am wealthy. I am supplied. I am grateful. I am free. And so it is. And so it flows. And so it is done. Now and forever. Amen.